Now, I suppose some other areas that have crept into this sort of false and misleading are unfortunate things that may be imposed on the land. Obviously, there's a need to disclose anything pertinent that may affect your enjoyment of the land, but that's involved some fairly ugly crimes and stuff all over Australia, hasn't it?
Sure. Look, agents are always ringing for advice, particularly in regards to, do I need to disclose something that I know? I know X, do I need to disclose it? This varies. For example, it could have been a drug lab previously. The property was a drug lab. It was cleaned appropriately. Now, do I need to disclose these sort of things? Or, you know, there might have been a death or a murder in the property. Now, we have a very simple test for this. What we say to agents is, ask this question: will the information I have affect the use and enjoyment of the land? So, if you think the purchaser will change their mind or it will affect the offer, then we suggest you should disclose it because it will affect their decision-making process.
Yeah, and the court did uphold a purchaser's dispute on a property in New South Wales a few years ago.
That's correct, yeah.
There was a rather horrific crime committed in the home. There was several murders in the home, and an Asian family bought it. They were new to Australia and weren't aware of the case, and they were very uncomfortable thereafter, and they did get out of the contract. They got compensation, and the agency that sold that property got quite a big fine too.
What we say to agents, real estate is quite simple if you disclose what you know.
And you can't change it either, can you?
That's exactly right.
You feel awkward about it because you know that it's going to affect the purchase price, but I guess you can't change the facts that you inherit.
Absolutely.
Really, don't you?
And it may not affect everybody.
No.
You may find a purchaser who doesn't mind. So sometimes we worry about things that we really can't control, as you've said. Now, you might find a vendor who says, look, I don't want you to disclose that. I'm instructing you not to disclose certain things. Well, unfortunately, yes, you have a fiduciary duty with your vendor, but you've also got that duty of care to your purchaser. That's very important.
Yeah. And I suppose when you're saying about it not mattering to some people, another case in Adelaide a couple of years ago where there was a murder in quite a nice townhouse on a main road, and the property was offered back for rent fairly quickly. The agent was quite upfront about it, secured a tenant quite quickly.
Certainly.
They had the conversation with the landlord that they had to know they'd need to change the rental price accordingly, and they actually didn't have many problems because they put the information out there to start with. Tricky situation, absolutely. But I guess the truth just overcomes those sorts of things.
And we also recommend that you disclose just prior to them putting an offer in. So if they're showing interest, then it should be disclosed at that point before they put the offer in. It really should not be disclosed at time they've put the offer in and the vendor's about to sign the contract. That really shows a bit of deceit. It should be done prior to putting an offer in because it may affect their offer.
And just going back to that false and misleading, a lot of people advertise that something may be available for a development site subject to council consent, meaning they haven't got that council consent. How do you see that as someone that's worked in the industry and now sees it on the other side of the REINT?
Look, if you are going to make it a possible development site, you should be really making some inquiries at the local government authority, the council, local council. There's got to be some sort of possibility, not I think or I wish. Because look, having disclaimers on things does not save you from simply lying or misrepresenting. So that's really important. You've got to have some sort of idea, make some inquiries, and look, often the council may say, look, that's possible. Well, that's okay, but also you don't know what the developer may want to build on there. So the council can't commit until they see plans.
So being very clear about that.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that gives us a bit more insight into some of those Commonwealth laws that apply to real estate. And Ray, I thank you for your input on that.
No worries at all.